ruthless. That is your chance to be ruthless. That is your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me make it, they don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that.
Yeah, we do it live? No. Yeah. No? Yeah. Yeah. We do it live? Okay. Yeah, we do it live. Let's go.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get one thing straight right off the bat. Lamar Jackson was right. You will never hear from me from that ever again, but Lamar Jackson was 100% right. He was right to shove the fan, and I'm tired of acting people like he wasn't. Here's the truth. Lamar Jackson, one of the greatest athletes on this planet, was doing what he's paid to do. Celebrate with his brothers after a touchdown. He wasn't looking for trouble. He wasn't stirring up chaos. He was in the moment embracing the game. And then what happened? A so-called fan in Buffalo put his hands on DeAndre Hopkins and then put Lamar and then on Lamar himself. Let me ask you this. If someone puts hands on you, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to defend yourself. That's human nature, baby. That is respect. And Lamar didn't even throw a punch. He didn't even cross the line. He gave a two-hand shot and say, enough. Do not touch me again, little boy. That's not violence. That's boundaries. And guess what? The NFL knows it. The Ravens know it. Even John Harbaugh said, we're at a real good spot with it. What? Because Lamar wasn't wrong. He even apologized, even though he shouldn't have. He stood up like a man and said, my bad, I reacted, even though he shouldn't have. But let's not get it twisted. That fan 100% crossed the line first. This isn't WWE. This isn't the circus. This is football. Players trash talk, fans trash talk, fine. It's all a part of the game. But when you start throwing hands, when you start throwing frozen bottles at players like what nearly hit Derrick Henry minutes later, you're putting lives at risk. You're putting careers at risk. That's not passion. That's stupidity. And let me tell you this. Lamar Jackson had every right to stand his ground. Because if you're going to ask these players to be warriors on Sunday, to lay their bodies on the line and for our entertainment, and the least we can do is respect them as human beings. Respect their space, respect their safety. So no, I'm not mad at Lamar Jackson. I'm proud of Lamar Jackson. He didn't let somebody disrespect him. He didn't let someone cross the line without answering. And here's the message perfect. Just chill next time. You can trash talk, but keep your hands to yourself. That's leadership. That's passion. That's standing up for what is right. Lamar Jackson showed the world that, yes, he is human. Yes, he's emotional. But more importantly, he's not going to let anyone put hands on him or his teammates. And you know what? He shouldn't. Lamar Jackson was right. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation, guys, and welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live raw, uncut NFL talk. And I'm so glad you're rolling with us today. But before to jump in, guys, head over to manhourradio.com. That is where you find all the exclusive merchandise. Check out the fresh blogs and everything that's happening on the Man Hour Radio. So if you're rocking the Man Hour, guys, that is the spot to do it. But guys, there's a new button here. If you're watching on your mobile device, like many of you are, if you're over here at youtube.com/manhour watching the show, there's a hype button, guys. Hit that hype button and give us a little hype. I'm just curious to see what will happen. Put a little hype, bada bing, bada boom. It is what it is. Now, guys, this is a live, interactive show, so drop your opinions, your hot takes, and all your comments down below, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, just like my man Derek's in the chat today. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Up Man Hour.
My bad. We forgot to shut off Coach Rowe. Coach Rowe is not quite ready yet, but when he is, he will be talking up there. Derek says, what is up, Man Hour? What is up? What is up? We got DMVZO in the chat, says, what is good? Hell, excitement for the game tomorrow. So he is obviously a Washington Commanders fan. Their hashtag is raise hell. Raise that hell. We're going to talk about that game tonight. We're going to preview that game and show you guys what it is all about. Wrong button here. And then we got Old Man River. He says the Raiders are in first place. They beat both and run it out. Meaning they beat the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Chargers. Old Man River is all aboard on the Raiders train wagon this year. But slow it down, baby. You need to slow it down, baby. But hey, they are in first place. Tied for first base, technically third place, but you know what? Let's give Raiders their day. They're in first place, so it is what it is. DMVZO is excited. Hey, man, we're getting ready to get started, but we got to welcome more people in the chat. We got Alpha Rob. He got Alpha Rob in the chat. The everydayer is here. Everydayer.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
And DMVZO says the Raiders are an interesting team. So DMVZO, Old Man River, and the rest of you Raiders fans, guys, stay tuned, because on Cold Hard Facts today, that is segment number 3 today. Segment number 3, we're going to talk about Geno Smith and how perfect of a fit he is for the Las Vegas Raiders. Am I pulling your chain, or are we talking facts? I don't know. You gotta slow it down. And we got my man Shay Fraser in the chat today. He says, "Go Pack, go!" Listen, baby, Super Bowl bound Green Bay Packers. But guys, that is where we're going to start off at the top today. We're going to talk about the almighty Thursday Night Football. Washington Commanders taking on the Green Bay Packers. And guys, this Thursday Night Football game is about to deliver a heavyweight NFC clash. The Washington Commanders head into Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers, and this matchup has all the makings of an early season statement game. Both teams are 1-0. Both teams look sharp week 1, and both teams are trying to belong at the top of the NFC conversation. But when we talk about this conversation, it all has to go towards Micah Parsons right off the bat. The Micah Parsons effect, the Micah Parsons impact. Micah Parsons, right? Because that is the big thing that is happening in Green Bay. And his Packers debut wasn't just good, it was half the show. It was flat out show, right? 3 pressures, 1 sack, and he was in Jared Goff's lap all night in that win over Detroit. You could feel Lambeau Field come alive every single time Micah Parsons made a play. Matter of fact, every time he came on the field, the crowd got crazy. That defense looked completely different with him on the field. But here's where things get really, really interesting heading into Thursday Night Football. Parsons flat out owned Washington in his career. Let's just be honest. We're talking about 10.5 sacks against the Commanders alone. More than against any other team in the NFL. Last season alone, he sacked Jayden Daniels 4.5 times in just 2 games. That's pure domination, baby. Now let's fast forward to this week. If the Green Bay Packers keep Parsons lined up in the left side like they did for week 1, he's going to see rookie tackle Josh Cornley Jr. And listen, Cornley already had his hands full against the Giants pass rush last week. If Washington doesn't scheme help, if they don't chip, double, or roll Daniels out, it could be a long, long night for Jayden Daniels. Parsons could completely wreck this game plan all by himself. And here's the wrinkle. If the Packers have been careful in the past against dual threat quarterbacks. They don't always go full out on the pass rush. Sometimes they try to keep those guys boxed into the pocket. So the question becomes, do they let Parsons pin back his ears and go? Or do they ask him to stay disciplined and contain Jayden Daniels? Either way, guys, Micah Parsons is the X factor for Thursday Night Football, in my opinion. He's already proven he can terrorize Washington, and he's in the system that looks like built for him to shine. So in the comments down below, guys, let me ask you this. Will Micah Parsons have over 1.5 sacks on Thursday Night Football versus the Washington Commanders? Or is he just going to be a shell of himself? Comment down below. I want to hear what you guys think. Remember, guys, hit the hype button, subscribe, and hit the like button as well. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so go ahead and drop your comments down below. I want to hear your thoughts. Let's see here. DMVZO says shootout incoming. Two high-powered offenses clashing. DMVZO, I agree with you. The Commanders have a great offense. The Packers have a great offense. But on the flip side of that coin, Packers have a pretty damn good defense. Matter of fact, right now, I would put the Packers as the top 10 defense in the NFL. I'm not worried about the stats. I'm worried about my eye test. Packers have a top 10, if not a top 5 defense in the NFL right now. The Commanders definitely have a top 10 defense as well. They're old. Let's not get it crazy. They are old, but they're still pretty damn good. And we know on Thursday Night Footballs, especially early in the season, we're going to see a vanilla offense. We're going to see a vanilla defense from both teams. Let's just be flat honest about it. There's no sugarcoating about it. The biggest growth from week 1 to week 2, or the biggest growth in a NFL season is from week 1 to week 2. However, when you only got 3 days of practice, 4 days of practice, the growth gets stunted just a little bit. Just get stunted a little bit. I'm going to see a very, very basic, fundamental, give the ball to Josh Jacobs, give the ball to one of the plethora of Washington's running backs, whether it's Debo, whether it's the starting, the rookies, whoever they got, right? Whoever's going to run the ball for Washington this week. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I'm thinking 17-14. Nice defensive slugfest, but shootout would be nice too. we always like boys. My bad. Woo. I swear I've never smoked a day in my life, but damn. I felt like I just got a smoker cough there. Shay Fraser says Micah may go for the MJ or Brady effect. We will see tomorrow. What do you mean by that, Shay? You mean he's going to get sick and play amazing? Or is he not going to shine when the lights matter the most? Like, well, what do you mean by the MJ effect? Obviously, I think we're talking about Michael Jordan. I'm assuming we're talking about Michael Jordan. But what do you mean by that? I'm curious, Shay. What do you mean? Only on the right side. So we've revamped the opposite line who played New York well. And I'm not, so DMVZO is obviously a Commander. Block Micah Parsons. Get out of town. I'm not saying Laramie Tunsil is a terrible offensive lineman, but there's a reason why they let him just kind of walk away. Let's just be honest about it. Now, the grass might be greener on the other side for Laramie, right? Maybe he's got that little bit of juice back into him. Maybe he's loving life a little bit more. But when you have a rookie lineman versus a veteran like Micah Parsons, it could be a long, long day. Could be. But how do you guys defeat Micah Parsons? Everybody and their dog knows this by now. How do you defeat Micah Parsons? No, we've only been ranting and raving after the last, 2, 3, 4 months. You run at him. Run at Micah Parsons. Run the RPO at Micah Parsons. He will fold like a Dollar General chair. That is what it is. Derek says he's getting 2 sacks for sure, baby. Derek says, hold my beer. Micah Parsons is going to put on his best Max Crosby out there, guys. Derek is a Raiders fan. Oh, bless his soul. Bless his soul. Bless his soul. But yeah. if Micah Parsons plays at least 60 to 70% of the snaps on defense, he will definitely get his sacks. Because Jayden Daniels keeps the ball a lot. And even though it's not a true sack, as long as you tackle him behind the line of scrimmage, the quarterback counts as a sack. So definitely the odds are in his favor. Alpha Rob says, tell the Packers start running the ball. So Alpha Rob is saying, yes, DMVZO, it might be a shootout. First half, second half, third quarter, it might be a shootout. But the minute Josh Jacobs starts getting that rock, they're going to slow the time down. They're going to slow the game down. And it's all going to be a one-score game after that. That's what Alpha Rob's saying. DMVCO says, our new D-line, Ken Law, who is 6'5" and dominated Sunday, Payne, Eddie, Goldman, and a great run stop in our new secondary, Lattimore. I don't know how, Central, is that how you say his name? And the second round, Romy, Amos locked up Malik Neighbors. DMVZO, you are preaching to the choir. You are preaching to the choir. Yes, you locked down the New York Football Giants. Yes, you only held the New York Football Giants to what? 167 total yards or something crazy like that. You held them to 6 points. You locked it. Yes, you dominated the New York Giants. Do not get that twisted. However, it's the New York Giants. It's a team that hasn't had a winning season since Daniel Jones 2022. A team that's been in rebuild mode for the last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 years. A team that cannot get out of their own way. Now, I do think the Giants will be better. They're highly being slept on, I feel. But right now, with Russell Wilson at the helm, the Giants are nothing to write home about. So yes, it is exciting to get that week 1 dominated win over an inferior opponent, like you should. Like you should. But let's not get crazy. It's still the New York Giants. Until otherwise proven along, we're going to put it's still the New York Giants. Just like Aaron Rodgers went out there and dominated his whole team, it's still the New York Jets. Right? Just like how the Denver Broncos went out there and played a damn good complete game versus the Tennessee Titans, which they didn't. It's still the Tennessee Titans. Right? Like, you kind of get what, like, I'm not trying to discredit the win. I'm not trying to, but the facts are the facts. And the facts are that it is still the New York Giants. James Frank is in the chat. What's up, James?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He said, it'll be a good game. I'm taking the Commanders, but a close game, though. And that's tough. That's tough, James, because you're taking not only the underdog, I feel. I haven't looked at the point spreads, but I feel like they are the underdog. A road team on Thursday Night Football in Lambeau. James, now we know why you're a Browns fan. Because you have 3 strikes against you there, boom, boom, boom. But you're still going to root with your heart out. Shay says, Micah changed the whole team dynamic. And Shay, you are correct to an extent. I think the Green Bay Packers were a good team anyways. I think the Green Bay Packers are poised to make a deep playoff run as is. Adding Micah put that pressure on them. Put that Super Bowl window on them. Win now or go home. DMVZO says, we shall see tomorrow, but I promise y'all, we'll be shocked tomorrow, bro. I'm not going to be shocked about the Commanders at all. Because we saw what the Commanders did last season. My boy Jeter is a huge Commanders fan. Jeter's been, matter of fact, last season, Jeter talked up Jayden Daniels so much that I had to go out and buy a freaking Jayden Daniels jersey. And I'm a Cowboys fan. So I got that Jayden Daniels jersey hanging up in the closet next to my Micah Parsons Cowboy jersey. Yeah, it is what it is. James Frank says, keywords locked down the New York Giants. Preach, James. Preach, brother. Say it with your chest, baby. Will Lawson's in the chat today. What's up, Will? He says, I honestly don't care for either of these teams, but I think the Commanders will win 23-20. I think it is going to be a very, very close game, Will. And honestly, if you pick the Commanders, if you pick the Packers, I haven't made a pick yet, but I can see both sides of the coin. I can see why one you would choose one or the other. I 100% agree with that. But let's talk about the Washington Commanders offense, because this unit is built to be dangerous. Jayden Daniels is one of the most electric young quarterbacks in the NFL. He can hurt you with his arms. He can hurt you with his legs, and his improvisational ability to make such teams a nightmare to defend. When a play breaks down, that's when Jayden Daniels is at his best. And that puts consistent stress on defenses. And then you add Deebo Samuel into the mix. And the Commanders' offense just hit another level. We saw it right away in week 1. 7 catches, 77 yards, and a rushing touchdown on a jet sweep. And even more work on special teams as a kickoff returner. The vintage Deebo. He's just not a receiver. He's a weapon. Line him up in the slot. Motion him into the backfield. Put the ball in his hands. He can flip it in a game in a single snap. Understand that. He can flip it in a single snap. He can turn that big MO into the Washington Commanders real quick. This is where the matchups gets really interesting, though. Packers, nickel Corden, Boulevard had a rough opening, right? 10 catches allowed on 11 targets. That's basically a free first down every time he was challenged. And you best believe the Washington saw that on film. And you better believe that they're going to line up Deebo on Bullard as often as possible. This kind of matchup Dan Quinn loves to exploit. But it's just not Deebo. Washington has layered weapons. Curtis Samuel, Scary Terry, Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield, giving Jayden Daniels multiple options. This is an offense where you can just key on just on one guy. If you take away Deebo, Scary Terry can beat you down the field. If you double team Scary Terry, Eckler can beat you underneath. And what about Daniels? Yes, he popped off. He did pop up on the injury report with the wrist issue this week, but he's been a full participant in practice all week long. His accuracy can be streaky, but what makes him special is how quickly he can flip the field with just his legs. Guys, if the pocket collapses, he is gone. And once he breaks contain, the Packers secondary is going to be on scrambled mode. And that's when big plays happen. So the challenge for the Green Bay Packers is balancing their rush. I want Micah Parsons to pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. But if he gets too aggressive, Daniels can escape. And it's going to be a long, long night. Keeping it in the pocket, guys, is easier said than done. Especially when you got a player like Deebo who can turn short throws into quick torches and chunk plays. Bottom line is, guys, the Washington Commanders offense has multiple ways to attack you, and Jayden Daniels and Deebo is leading the charge. They're going to test every inch of the Green Bay Packers on Thursday night, and this is going to be a true test on Thursday. So, guys, in the comments down below, what is the more important matchup in your eyes? Is it Micah versus Jayden Daniels, or is it Deebo versus Bullard? Who are your eyes going to be appealed to more? Me personally, I'm going to try to watch a chess match that Dan Quinn has with Deebo. When do you put Deebo? What do the Packers do, right? Because I love a good chess match. I love to try to outthink the other opponent. Try to guess what he is going to do before he thinks he knows what he's going to do. I like to play chess while he's playing checkers, that type of situation. But what are you guys really looking forward to in this game? James Frank says, Scary Terry makes his presence felt, and it shows that he wanted that moolah. Da-da-da-da bills, yo. Scary Terry better make his presence felt damn well on Thursday. The light's going to be bright, brother. The Washington Commanders spent a lot of money on offense. In DMVZO's stake, it better be a shootout. You spent millions upon millions of dollars on two of the premier wide receivers in the NFL. Put up or shut up, baby. Put up or shut up. DMV says 30-23 Washington. Love throws 2 picks. Bill Kroksky merit breakout game against one of the best defenses in the league. And if the Washington Commanders do this, DMVZO, if the Commanders do this, score 30 points on arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL, all eyes are going to be on Washington for the rest of the season. They're going to be overlooking the Eagles. They're going to be overlooking the 49ers, the Rams, the Lions, the Cowboys. All eyes are going to be on the Commanders. Can the Commanders handle that pressure? Because once you're 2-0, you beat the New York Giants, you dominate the Giants. You beat Super Bowl favorites now, Green Bay Packers. The target is now on you. How can they handle that? That is the question that is going to haunt the Commanders for a very, very long time moving forward. Alpha Rob says, I'm looking to see what Von Miller does. Forgot that Von Miller is on the Washington Commanders. I forgot Mr. Overrated Man himself is on the Washington Commanders. What, he's like 37 years old now, a little old Ed. I would be curious too. Because honestly, when I watched the game, I mean, I watched the Catch 22 film on NFL.com. So I didn't watch the live broadcast. I rewatched the game, and Von Miller didn't jump off the screen at me at all. You know, usually I kind of oh, I wonder how he's going to do, right? Von Miller didn't jump out at me at all. So I'd be kind of curious. Derek says the Raiders play Washington after the Packers. Derek, you better worry about your Monday night game at 10 p.m. East Coast time versus those LA Chargers. I'm going to need you to knock the Chargers back down to reality, baby. And then worry about getting beat down by the Commanders. But that should be a good game too. But on the flip side, guys, the Green Bay Packers offense. Let's flip it over to the Green Bay Packers because this game is about a huge test for Jordan Love as well. In week 1 against the Detroit Lions, he came out firing. 2 touchdown passes in the first half, even got a gutsy first down sneak to keep that momentum rolling. His preseason thumb injury, non-factor. Love looked confident, in command, and ready to take it to the next step in the Packers franchise quarterback history. But here's the catch. He was not perfect. He got away with some mistakes. There was a dropped interception and another pick that was wiped out by a penalty. Against Detroit, he survived in the moments. Against Washington, you don't really get second chances. Washington Commanders defense is built to punish or capitalize on mistakes. Last week, they absolutely smothered the Giants, holding them to just 6 points and forcing them into 12 third down stops, and only allowed 231 total yards. That's not a fluke. This group looked fast, physical, and disciplined. And it starts all up front with Darren Payne, Ken Law were blowing up the interior line in week 1, collapsing the pocket and stuffing the run. Wise and Armstrong were bringing the heat off the edges, and that rotation keeps them fresh all game long. Then you look at the back end. Lattimore looks rejuvenated. He was in sticky and coverage, breaking up throws that could have been completions a year ago. And for Green Bay, the challenge is about balance. They can't rely on Jordan Love to throw the ball 40 times they expect to win against this pass rush. Josh Jacobs has to be the engine early and often. He needs to establish the run game, force Washington in to bring that safety down to open up play action for Jordan Love. If the Packers stay one-dimensional, Washington is going to pen their ears back and come after him over and over and over again. The good news, though, is Love does have option. Romeo Doubs is emerging as a reliable target finally. Jayden Reed is explosive in the slot. And Matthew Golden looked like he's ready to contribute right away. And don't sleep on tight end Tucker Kraft as well. He caught the touchdown last week that quickly becoming one of Love's security blankets. Still, this matchup comes down to composure. Washington thrives on chaos. Their defense thrives on chaos. Tip balls, strip sacks, forcing the quarterback into bad throws. And if Jordan Love can protect the ball, stay patient, and takes what the defense gives them, the Green Bay Packers have a shot to keep the crowd involved and pull this one out. But if he forces passes into tight coverage like he's done in years past, or holds on the ball too long like he does in years past, the Commanders' defense will make him pay, and it will be a long, long night. Guys, this is Jordan Love's measuring stick game. If he can handle the Washington's defense, we'll know Green Bay is a legit NFC contender. If he struggles, the question about whether this team is truly ready to compete in the Super Bowl won't go away, because they're not. Let's just be honest. But what do you guys think? Can Jordan Love prove that he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? Can the Green Bay Packers prove that they're ready to go to the Super Bowl in week 2 versus the Washington Commanders? That is the question I have for you. DMVZO says JD might put up 50 on the Raiders. That's tough, Derek. That's tough, but probably true. James Frank says, I think we're going to come out gunning. And again, I don't know if it'll be against his favor against the Commanders. Probably won't. I think the Packers game plan this week should run Josh Jacobs 30 times. Josh Jacobs needs to touch the ball 30 times with at least 150 yards rushing. Not that he's on my fantasy team or anything, but he's on my fantasy team. Give the man 150 yards and 3 tutties. Give him the ball over and over and over again. And then I think the Green Bay Packers have a legit shot. Will says, I have the Cowboys number 6 and the Commanders number 11 in my top 16 NFL teams right now. I have them about flip-flopped. I have the Commanders as a top 5 team and the Cowboys as a top 15 team. But I could see why you would have the Cowboys up there and like in the Commanders flipped, right? Not 100% sold on the Commanders because they did play the New York Giants. But on the flip side, the Cowboys did play the Philadelphia Eagles and they did lose. So you weigh out performance versus wins or losses versus it's kind of like, how do you bet it? Yeah, I get you. What's Josh Jacob been doing? He been toking the rock, baby. He been toking that rock. No, not really. Honestly, and like week 1, Derek, I think the Packers forgot that they had Josh Jacobs to like the, third quarter, maybe fourth quarter, when the line started to get a little bit hot. Like, oh, maybe we should give Josh Jacobs the ball just a little bit, right? Maybe some couple carries. He only ended up with 66 yards on 19 carries. So, but those were all in like the third and fourth quarters when he got most of those touches. So giving the ball 20 times, 166 yards, we pretty nice. James says, Will Olsen, the Commanders are better than the Cowboys. Right now, I would agree with that, James. I would agree with that. Derek says, Green Bay beat Detroit. Washington beat New York. Not sure Washington has been tested yet. They haven't been tested yet. But on the flip side, Derek, the Lions really aren't that good right now either. A lot of things are going to change come week 2. Biggest growth of any NFL team is in week 2. From week 1 to week 2, that is when you get your biggest growth. So we will see what it actually comes out of it. But let's move on to the next topic, guys, and that is the one and only Jalen Carter. And let's get into this, because I think this whole Jalen Carter situation is straight up BS. Straight up bullshit. The NFL announced that Carter's 1-game suspension for spitting on Dak Prescott has already been served because he was ejected before the first snap of the game. Really? That is the punishment? He spits on a quarterback in front of the whole world, in front of national television on opening night, and the league says, yeah, you missed a couple plays, so we're good? Come on, that is weak at best. Guys, this is just about Jalen Carter. It's about the NFL sending mixed messages. Just months ago, Vincent stood in front of every coach, general manager, and executive and said there will be zero tolerance for acts of defaming the game. Zero tolerance. Spitting on an opponent is about as disrespectful as it gets. But instead of hammering it down, the NFL softens the blow by why? They're like, hey, we know you didn't play a snap, but you played the game, but you didn't play the game, but that is going to count. That is bullshit. Because the reason why the NFL is saying this is because they simply want Jalen Carter suited up for week 2 when the Eagles play the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl rematch on prime time. It isn't about discipline at the end of the day. It's about business. The league doesn't want to risk the Eagles being shorthanded because they need a matchup for must-see TV. They don't want excuses. They don't want the narrative, but Field didn't have Carter. They want the ratings. They want the hype. They want the storylines. And the punishment, well, it takes a back seat because, he missed the, 116 of 117 plays. And don't get me wrong. Carter did apologize. He called it a mistake. He said it won't happen again. Fine, whatever. But that doesn't change the fact that you spit on a quarterback on national television. It doesn't change the fact that during a banner raising with millions of people watching, that's not a oops, that's not a my bad moment. That's an embarrassment moment for the league, and even more embarrassing for Jalen Carter that has had character issues in the past. Now, Carter did lose a game check around $57,000. And sure, the Eagles agreed not to touch his guarantees or bonus money. But doesn't that feel like a real punishment? Does that really feel like a real punishment, or does it feel like the NFL is protecting their product? Guys, let's be real. If this was a no-name player, If this was a special teamer or a backup offense of like lineman, the hammer comes down. He's sitting week 2. He's sitting week 3. Hell, he might even be sitting week 4 because it's Jalen Carter, because the Eagles-Chiefs primetime game, the league bit on its own zero tolerance talk. And look, I get it. The NFL is business. They're going to do what it takes to make money. But don't insult us by protecting it's about sportsmanship or integrity when the actions clearly say it's about protecting the ratings. So, guys, let me ask you this. Do you think the NFL went soft on Jalen Carter just to make sure he plays against Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday afternoon? Comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. Alpha Rob says it doesn't make sense. Thank you. How does it make sense? This is what I've been comparing it to. Me and my wife had a nice little discussion about it. She is like, well, why didn't Dak get suspended? Well, because that didn't spit on a person. But we digress from that. This is me. So let's say I'm in jail. Okay. Let's say I'm in jail for, I don't know, robbing a store, serving like 3 months in jail, right? I go into prison or go into county jail, whatever you want to call it, and then I rob somebody again. I get caught for robbing that same person. But they're like, oh, well, since you're already in jail, it's time served. Like, all good is good, right? Like, what? It's like me hurting a person on the outside. We both go to jail. I get charged for hurting that person. While on the inside, I serve my 7, 18, 19 days in jail. On the 19th day, I beat his ass again. Well, you already served 19 days. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like it is what it is. I don't care if it's the first play of the game. I don't care if it's the last play of the game. You strapped up. You were on the field. A play happened. A kickoff happened. And then you got tossed. How does that count as one game? Will also says he also got slapped with the hefty fine. No, he didn't. He just didn't get paid. For that game, he was supposed to get paid $57,000. That was his fine. He just didn't get paid. There's no fine. There's no suspension. Let's just be honest. He wanted to get home, get a little booty. That's what it comes down to. Derek says, hey, you get your guy back game 7 against the Raiders, Rashid Rice. We do. We do. You know, matter of fact, this is like Rashid Rice. Let's say Rashid Rice obviously he got a 6-game suspension. He didn't play 14 games last season. What if the NFL said, you know what? You didn't play 14 games last season, so there's your time served. How many people would have been pissed off about that? How many people would go out? Let's just be honest. People would lose their shit. For one, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. And then 2, it's Rashid Rice, because, he's the felon now, right? James Frank says probably did go limp on Carter. What went limp on Carter? Are you talking about a wanker? That's weird. Derek says, how do you feel about Travis getting open-handed? That's a bunch of BS too. The man got bitch slapped. Granted, Travis Kelce gave him a little shove, a little after the whistle, possibly. I didn't hear the whistle. I actually did not see the play live. I was coaching high school football. A game on Friday. Come on now, right? But whatever, I digress. Yeah, you got a little bitch slap. That sucks. James Frank says, what happened to Joey Porter when he spit on William Green? I have no idea. I had no idea Joey Porter spit on William Green. Was that week 1? The reason why we didn't hear about it because probably didn't get caught on 15 different cameras, on national TV, on opening night. James, is that like a hypothetical question? Like what happened? Or are you legitimately asking us like what happened? Because I don't know. I do not know what happened. So let me know. But guys, it is time for some cold, hard facts. All right, guys, so each and every Wednesday here on the Man Hour NFL Talk, right about 9:45 East Coast time, we do a segment called Cold Hard Facts. And here's how it works. I'm going to lay out some straight facts. No fluff, no sugarcoat, just the real, undeniable truth about what's going on in the NFL world. We talk about the cold, hard facts, baby. We cutting through the fluff, all the noise, and getting what is true. What's happening, what is real. No room for the debate here. We're all about the facts, so you can take that to the bank. So, guys, buckle up, because we're about to drop some knowledge. No overreaction, no exaggeration, just pure, cold, hard facts. All right, guys, so the first cold, hard fact of the day, the Green Bay Packers will have an excuse if they allow sacks and pressure this week versus the Washington Commanders. Let's lay it out. Guys, the Packers could be without not one, but two starting offensive linemen on Thursday Night Football against the Washington Commanders. That's right tackle Zach Tom and left guard Aaron Banks. Both of them are banged up. Tom is dealing with an oblique injury, and Banks has injury and growing issues. And neither of them had practice this week if the Green Bay Packers held a full session. With that being said, Matt LaFleur is holding out hope. He says neither injury should be long-term, and both guys will be given right up until game time to see if they can go. But here's the reality. If they can't play, Green Bay Packers is going to be patching this line together on a short week against one of the nastiest defensive fronts in the NFL. Aaron Banks is no small loss. The Packers gave him a 4-year, $77 million contract to stabilize that interior of the offensive line. Zach Tom, the same story. He just signed a 4-year, $88 million extension this summer because he's one of the best young tackles in football. If he's out, Darren Kennard, who was traded to Green Bay less than 2 weeks ago, is the next man up. Kennard played 15 snaps against the Lions, but he may be starting now down Micah Parsons and that Commanders pass rush. Oh, I said that. Good luck. But it doesn't stop there. If Banks can't go, the Packers are looking at the rotation of Sean Ryan, the rookie Jordan Morton, just to cover a guard. That's a lot of inexperience and a lot of moving parts against the Washington front seven that has held the Giants at 6 points and racked up consistent pressure with Darren Payne, Jadeveon Kinlaw, Dorrance Armstrong, and Wise. Guys, the Packers did hold the Detroit Lions without a sack in week 1. So credit the unit. But if there was at full strength, take away 2 anchors, put them on short week, and now all of a sudden Jordan Love's pocket becomes not so clean. So yeah. Guys, the cold hard facts is if the Green Bay Packers give up sacks and pressures on Thursday night, they got a built-in excuse. Injuries up front, shorthanded, facing one of the league's deepest lines, and the receipts for trouble. But what do you guys think? Will the Packers' big up offensive line survive against Washington's pass rush, or are we about to see Jordan Love running for his life all day long? Let me know in the comments down below. Will Olsen says, is this sponsored by Coors Light? I wish it was, because I could use a Coors Light right now, but damn it, my throat is killing me yet again. And Let's Go Sports in the chat says, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Yes, guys, that is horrific. Horrific of what you stand. It's so irritating about that. So irritating about that. But let's move on. All right, guys, so cold hard facts is that the Geno Smith, Chip Kelly pairing is must-see TV. Guys, let's be real. In week 1 against the Patriots, the Raiders lit it up. They were the first in the NFL in explosive pass rating at 26.3, second in air yards per attempt at 10.3, and second in play action rate at 34.2. Translation, big plays over and over and over again. Guys, Geno Smith went 24 for 34 for 362 yards. That's not dinking and dunking football. That's attacking, fearless quarterback play. Geno has always been willing to stand in the fire and take shots, and Chip Kelly played right into that. He schemed up isolation routes, deep breaking patterns, and gave Geno the freedom to cut it loose. Jacoby Myers on that deep comeback. Money, baby. Trey Tucker on that outbreaker. Perfect timing. And here's the thing. Geno's just not hitting the D-stub. He's firing the RPOs into tight windows in the intermediate game. And Kelly's motion-heavy play-action system is making those lows lethal. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Geno's gunslinger mentality comes with risk. He did take 4 sacks. He did throw a pick. That's the tax you pay for a quarterback who's always looking to push the ball down the field. But here's why it works. Geno Smith doesn't turn pressure into dump-offs into checkdowns. He turns it into 20-yard chunk plays. That's instant offense, and that's what makes the Raiders dangerous in 2025. The run game, forgettable. Let's just be honest. But Brock Bowers did have flash with 38-yard catch and run, but this offense is about pounding the rock. It's about explosiveness, and right now, Geno is delivering it. And here's what makes week 2 so fascinating. The Patriots tried to blitz him into mistakes. The Chargers won't. Jesse Metnier is going to sit back in deep zones, keep everything in front, and dare Geno Smith to be patient. That's polar opposite of what they saw week 1. And this is where we'll find out how sustainable this marriage is. Can Geno Smith take what is given, or will he keep forcing shots into coverage? Guys, the bottom line, the Raiders paid a 3rd-round pick for Geno Smith and $37.5 million per year for Geno Smith. If his stats, he cleared the bar easily. The Raiders might be a good, but if it's excitement you want, if there's a fireworks you want, if it's a drama that you want, you better tune in because Geno Smith and Chip Kelly are going to give you the show. But let me ask you guys this question. What do you think? Is Geno Smith the quarterback to finally make the Raiders fun again? Or just a short-term hot streak? Drop your comments down and below, but guys, this is the cold, hard facts. James Frank says Geno Smith is a dog, baby. Listen, is Geno Smith not like one of the best stories ever? Like you go from the Jets, everybody forgets about you. Then you go to this team, and then he ultimately went to the Seahawks, was back up there for 3 or 4 years, got the starting knob, and now he is the man in Las Vegas. That's tough. That's tough. Chip Kelly from Oregon to Ohio. I believe in Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is a good offensive coordinator, good offensive mind. Not so great head coach. Who was he head coach for? The 49ers, wasn't it? I think it was the 49ers. I can't remember. Not a great NFL head coach, but offensive coordinator, I got some faith in him. I got a little bit of faith. Will Olson says the Raiders are better than the Broncos right now. That's 100% facts. I don't think there's even a debate about it. It's the Chargers, Raiders, and then the Broncos. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Guys, the cold hard fact is that the Broncos suck. They sneaked past the Tennessee Titans team. That's tough. Derek says Geno is the man. He is the man, baby. He is the man. Give Geno his flowers. But guys, cold hard fact number 3 of the day. Aaron Rodgers looked good in his Steelers debut, but the hype needs to be kept in check. You don't need to slow it down, baby. When Pittsburgh Steelers signed Aaron Rodgers, the idea was simple. He'd be the missing piece to pair up with that defense with the veteran quarterback who can sling it, run the ball, and hit a couple of slash plays. And suddenly the Steelers become a playoff team. They already are a playoff team, but a deeper playoff team, right? And week 1 against the New York Football Jets, it looked like the plan just might work. Aaron Rodgers had a vented Aaron Rodgers throw, a beautiful sideline ball to Calvin Austin III. He also operated within Arthur Smith's offense, running more under center play action snaps than he has in years. That's something he has resisted in the past. But in Pittsburgh, he's leaned into it. And the results look smooth, baby. But here's where I have to pump the brakes. This is where y'all need to slow it down, baby. A lot of Aaron Rodgers' success came on busted coverage plays. 7 of his 8 big plays were because the DB slipped, got crossed up, or missed a tackle. Let's just be flat out honest about it. DK Metcalf's 18-yard catch and run, a miscommunication. Ben Sorokin's touchdown, the DB fell behind in coverage. Even that Austin throw came with the corner stumbling in the route. Now, give Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers credit. They went no huddle. They forced these breakdowns, and Aaron Rodgers thrives in hurry-up situations. But let's be honest. Pittsburgh Steelers won't face the secondary this sloppy every week. The Jets' defensive backfield had a nightmare game, and Rodgers feasted on it. That's not going to be the norm, especially in the AFC North. The numbers tell the story. Rodgers had the 3rd highest explosive pass rating in week 1 at 23.5, but he also threw the most screens and averaged of 4.5 yards per attempt in the air. That's a lot of short stuff with a couple breakdowns. Those splash numbers won't hold up every week. And here's the other thing. Rodgers still isn't mobile. He can't move. He doesn't escape pressure the way he used to. If the pocket collapses and he's stuck. That's the ceiling on the offense. Yes, he can play point guard. Yes, he can run Arthur Smith's scheme. But if the run game isn't clicking and the defense isn't giving up freebies, can he still carry the load? That is the real question. Steelers fans, be encouraged. Let's go Spurs, be encouraged. Rodgers looks bought in. He looks comfortable for now. It's working for now. But let's not crown it in some career revival just yet. But guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Is Aaron Rodgers really the missing piece to make the Steelers a contenders, or is just week 1's fools going against a sloppy Jets secondary? Comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. James Frank says, I am not buying the Aaron hype. I'm not buying the Aaron hype either. I'm not 100% sold, baby. Not 100% sold. But James also says, or it could just be the hater in me. Hater or not, Aaron Rodgers is a far cry from his MVP level. Aaron Rodgers is far cry from his 3-year level last year. Hell, Aaron Rodgers is a far cry from last year's level. It's just what it is. His true colors show when things go bad. Just wait for the meltdowns. I guess we'll see it this week when they play the is it the Browns they play this week? I can't remember. Who the Steelers play this week, guys? Alpha Rob says Rodgers has lost all of his mobility. Not wrong. Not wrong at all. James Frank says, Derek, Myles Garrett will cause his meltdown. James, repeat that for the people in the back. The Cleveland Browns are going to whoop the Steelers' ass, says James. I helped you out. I helped you out, man. Guys, cold hard fact number 4 of the day. Justin Fields finally looks like he's an offense built for him, not the other way around. Think about this, guys. Justin Fields' biggest issue in Chicago was the negative plays. He took sacks nearly on 11% of his dropbacks, the worst rate in the NFL. He held the ball on too long. He scrambled out of the structure, and too often he tried to play Superman when the offense needed just was a Clark Kent. For every highlight run, there were 2 ugly stats and 3 missed flows. But Sunday with the Jets, that version of Justin Fields didn't show up. What stood out wasn't the splashy plays. It was what wasn't there. No bonehead sacks. No consistent drive killers. Justin Fields looked controlled. He looked installed, and most importantly, he looked like the Jets finally built something around his strength. Offensive coordinator called one of the best games of week 1. The Jets ran the ball 58% of their plays. One of the heaviest runs weights you'll see in the league. That ground game protected Fields for those long third downs where he struggled his whole career. On average, his third down attempts were just needed 4.6 yards, the shortest distance of the sticks he has ever had. And guess what? He converted half of them, plus a 4th and 1 for a touchdown. and they just didn't run the ball. They gave him 9 designed runs, more than almost any other game in his career. They gave him intermediate and deep routes from the pocket, letting him set his base and fire that rocket arm. And when he did escape, he did it smart. 2 hands on the ball, heads up, eyes down the field. That is growth. That is a top 10 quarterback, like my man Shay said. Now, let's just be clear. Fields is not fixed yet. He's still late on his reads sometimes. Still locked in on Garrett Wilson just a little too much. But you know what? This is the first time since he entered the league, it feels like a coach is actually tailoring an offense to what Justin Fields does well. That shouldn't have been this hard in Chicago or Pittsburgh. But in New York, it finally makes sense. This blueprint for reclamation. We saw it with Sam Darnold in Minnesota, Baker Mayfield in Tampa. Build the system around the quarterback. Protect him early, let his confidence grow, and then expand the role. 1 week doesn't make a career, but this foundational stone for Justin Fields and the Jets is a career. Guys, the cold hard facts. If this continues, Justin Fields might be ready to turn the corner, and the Jets might have finally found their guy. But what do you guys think? Is Justin Fields really turning the corner in New York? Or was week 1 just smoke and mirrors with a cautious game plan? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Guys, remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the hype button, and remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below and join the conversation. Let's get into your comments. James Frank says, I think Justin Fields has finally found his home. I agree. The minute that Justin Fields went to the New York Jets, and we heard rumors and speculations that the Pittsburgh Steelers offered him more money, but Justin Fields was like, no, I want to go here. That was green flag number 1. Green flag number 2. Justin Fields was out there working his ass off this offseason. Everything I've seen on film, on practice squad, or like in the practice, Justin Fields was taking leadership and command of that huddle. Green flag number 3 for Justin Fields: the Jets did not draft a quarterback. They had an opportunity to draft a quarterback this season. They're like, oh, no. Let's see what Justin Fields does. That installs confidence in a franchise quarterback. Justin Fields might be that guy. Will Olson says both the Jets and Patriots will be evenly matched this season. I agree. I think they're both very, very decent teams. Not Super Bowl teams, but they're not bottom of the barrel teams like the Saints, Dolphins, and Panthers, right? They're nice 7, 8, 9 win teams. Derek says they fired the kick returner man for losing the game for the Jets. Yes. When you fumble the ball, when you're not supposed to, you're going to get fired. When your job is to hang on to the football, you're going to get fired. My bad. But Alpha Rob says Fields will be Fields on Sunday. That's just your fandom talking, Alpha Rob. Because don't the Buffalo Bills play the New York Jets on Sunday? That's just your fandom. That's just you being scared. It's okay to be scared, Alpha Rob. It is okay to be scared about the New York Jets. Because when they come and they whoop that Buffalo Bills candy asses, baby. Try my WWE, sir. Don't come crying to me. Derek says he had the win. He did. But shit happens when you party naked. James Frank. Where's that hair?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says, I believe he's growing and has learned. He will only get better. Still may have some growing pains, but I believe he has the coaching staff around him that will actually help him out. I agree. We saw last year when Justin Fields started the season off, was it 4-0 or 3-0, right? They ended up losing 2 in a row, but he was 4-2 as a starter last season. We saw glimpses of what his capabilities could be. With the right play calling, with the right situation, with the right opportunities, right? With the right defensive help. Now, obviously, the Jets defense kind of sputtered out toward the end. Actually, the whole game, they kind of sputtered out. But the Jets defense was their staple before defensive coordinator here, what's his name, took over as the head coach once Robert Saleh got fired for forgetting his name. Shoot, what was his name? I can't remember. But guys, Justin Fields, we will see significant growth all season long. We will see it. We'll see it. We'll see it. But now, cold hard facts number 5. Guys, the cold hard fact is that Daniel Jones looked great in week 1, but the real test hasn't arrived yet. Guys, let's not sugarcoat it. The Dolphins secondary was a disaster on Sunday. We're talking busted coverages right out of the gate. Jack Jones blew an assignment on the very first drive. Jonathan Taylor motions out wide. Nobody follows when he rips off an 18-yard check down. Mo Alley-Cox catches a quick out. Nobody covers the flats. And then he strolls for 20 yards. These were NFL-level mistakes. These were second half of a postseason game, preseason mistakes. By the second quarter, guys, Miami defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver basically said, forget it. Let's blitz. Let's hope something happens. I don't know what to do anymore. And you know what? It slowed down Jones down a little bit, but not so much. Matter of fact, against the rush, Jones had a ridiculous 65% success rate when blitzed. Still at 56%, the difference was, or still at 65%, the difference wasn't enough to swing the game because Shane Steichen was in the bag. Calling quick hitting plays, giving Daniel Jones answers. Guys, Jones averaged just 2.3 seconds to throw the ball against the blitz. That's coaching and execution. So what to make of Daniel Jones? He played the role of the point guard. He hit his first reads. He threw a beautiful deep ball to Mitchell with anticipation. He scrambled when he needed to. He avoided bad plays, no picks, just 1 sack. That's exactly what you need to do to hold off Anthony Richardson and keep his job. But here's the reality. The Colts offense barely challenged. They're barely challenged. Even with Miami blitzing like crazy, Jones was only pressured 6 out of 33 block dropbacks. That's nothing. The Dolphins defense was undermanned, out of position, and overwhelmed. Honestly, Anthony Richardson could have probably picked up 33 points against the Miami defense. Heck, the rookie Riley Leonard probably would have dropped 27 on that unit. So yes, Jones did his job. He ran Shane Steichen's system the way it was drawn up. He got the ball out quick. He let the receivers do the work, and he didn't blow it. But I can't sit here and say, hey, he proved anything long-term. The real measuring stick is next week when the Colts face the Denver Broncos defense. That group has speed, discipline, and pass rush that won't let Daniel Jones sit back comfortably. So guys, the cold hard fact is, I think Daniel Jones is settling in Colts starter very, very well. Or is it just a product of Miami Dolphins letdown? That is what I want you to know. Just the question down below. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember to share this with a couple friends as well. Derek says Jones got Anthony Richardson waiting in the wings. I want to be honest with you, Derek. I don't think Anthony Richardson ever sees the field in an Indianapolis Colts jersey ever again. Let me repeat that. I don't think Anthony Richardson ever sees the field in an Indianapolis Colts jersey ever again. Because we saw Bryce Young play absolute dog shit in week 1. Carolina Panthers are at this point, we don't know what to do with our hands. I can see the Panthers making a trade for Anthony Richardson. I could see a team like the Saints make a trade for Anthony Richardson. Hell, I could see a team like the Miami Dolphins making a trade for Anthony Richardson. Riley Leonard will step on the field before Anthony Richardson in a Colts jersey this season. Those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? James Frank says Danny Dimes has days every once in a while. You're right, James. There's a reason why Danny Dimes got those millions upon $1 million after that 2022 season. He got paid because he had one hell of a season. With the running game and a little bit of receivers and some defensive help, Daniel Jones is a great game manager, and he can manage you all the way through the playoffs like he did in 2022 for Brian Daboll and the New York Giants. Will Olsen said the Colts are the best in the AFC South right now. Facts, baby. Will, say that again for the people in the back. The Texans are down. The Jaguars are highly overrated. And the Titans are just long ways to go. Long ways to go. But yes, the Colts are best in the AFC South right now. They could probably win the division with 7 wins. That's how bad the rest of the division looks. James is saying, I'm still saying Anthony Richardson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will see. We'll see. Derek says, Jones needs to run his ass off if he wants to beat the D-end, the defense, the Denver's defense. The Denver's defense didn't look so dominant versus the Tennessee Titans. So I'm not sure if he's going to have to run his ass off, but he's definitely going to have to play great again, right? Going to have to play great again, no question about it. But guys, it is time for a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. All right, guys, so it is time to wind down the show, but we're not quite done yet. It's time for our final segment, fact or crap. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw out some statements out there, some facts that are floating around the NFL world. It's up to us to decide if it's all fact or if it's a whole lot of crap. We're going to separate this truth from the nonsense, cut through the hype, and see what's really worth believing. If it's legit, we're all about it. If it's pure garbage, we're calling it out. So, guys, grab your popcorn because it's time to get real. Is it fact or just a whole lot of crap? Let's find out, baby. All right, guys, so the first fact or crap of the day. Cam Ward. He did have a rough debut as a Tennessee Titans quarterback. But on the flip side, he still had some pretty promising things. So, guys, fact or crap. Cam Ward's rough debut means the Titans made a mistake at drafting him number 1 overall at quarterback. The stat sheet, guys, looked ugly. There's no sugarcoating. There's no overlooking it. It looked bad. Ward had dropback success of 17.7. That ranks 1,101st out of 1,105 quarterback games since 2023. On paper, that is a disaster. But here's the thing. The film tells a different story. Cam Ward had multiple near misses that don't show up in the box score. A bobble sideline catch by rookie tight end Gunnar Helm that got overturned. Calvin Ridley dropped 2 passes that should have been there. Or actually should have been 3. All of them would have been first downs. He also threw a couple of third down completions that ended up just 1 yard shy of the sticks. That's not bad quarterback play. That's execution around him falling short. Now, Cam Ward wasn't perfect. He was far from it. He took back-to-back sacks in the fourth quarter that knocked the Titans out of field goal range in a 1-point game. Both sacks were avoidable. Throw the ball away, play with urgency, live to fight another down. He also left 7 points on the table in the red zone. Van Jefferson came out of a rub route. The play was designed for him, and Cam Ward already had dropped his eyes and gone into scramble mode. Rookie mistakes, but still costly. Here's why I'm not out on him, though. His poise. Against pressure, he made throws that you rarely see from a rookie. Anticipation, timing, calm in the pocket. But you can see the instincts from his Miami days. The arm talent is real. The high difficulty throws are there, and the leadership will come. But right now, he's almost too calm. He got sacked near his own end zone because he didn't alert the offensive line at the play clock expired. That's not panic. That's inexperience, and that's physical. Fixable. The Titans are young. They got pre-snap issues, blow and run assignments, and growing pains all over the roster. And the team settles, the offense will catch up to Ward's talent. So, guys, is it fact or crap that Ward's ugly debut means the Tennessee Titans made a mistake? Guys, that's 100% crap. That is 100% crap. This kid has real tools. And once his offense cleans up mistakes around him, those flashes will turn into consistency. Those flashes of consistency will turn into wins, and wins will turn into multiple wins, and then into eventually division championships. But what do you guys think? Is Cam Ward the long-term answer for the Titans, or the Tennessee Titans drafted another quarterback mistake? Drop your comments down below. Will Olsen is saying crap. Cam Ward is going to be successful, says Will Olsen. I agree. The Tennessee Titans had some of the biggest holes in the entire period. Matter of fact, I was advocating that the Tennessee Titans draft down to get more draft capital because it had so many freaking holes. From defensive linemen to linebackers to offensive line to wide receiver, they had so many holes. I do think Cam will be successful in Tennessee eventually. He's going to have a lot of growing pains. The Titans fans are going to be really, really patient. 3 years possibly. James is saying crap. His wide receivers need to catch the ball. He's still learning too, but they need to catch the ball. Cam will be fine. I agree. Jose Blanco says Cam is great, but the Titans suck. That's tough. That's tough, but true. Jose, you're spot on. Alpha Rob is saying crap. Tennessee is just a bad team. Let me ask you guys this, because yesterday we talked about the Dolphins being bad. Talked about the Panthers being bad. We talked about the Saints being bad. Are the Titans worse than those three teams? Is it a 4-team race for the number 1 overall pick yet again? Curious. And Derek says, nah, Buck, slow it down, baby. Cam Ward has it. We don't know what it is. You cannot put a label on it. You can't put a stat line on it. You just know that he has it. You see it in him. It's beyond the stat sheet. Eric, you're right. Alpha Rob says, so people know that Levis was dealing with in Tennessee. Not wrong. And honestly, I still think Will Levis might have a successful NFL career. If Will Levis gets out of Tennessee, he might have a successful career in Miami or Carolina or New Orleans or what other places might need quarterback. Pittsburgh. He could have a successful season. Jose said they had more penalty yards than offensive yards. And yes, the Titans are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Forgot they had like 127 penalty yards. Forgot about that. That is tough. Plus 8 drop passes. Good grief. That's tough. That is tough. And James says, no, Buck. They are a bad team, but they're better than the Dolphins. They're better than the Panthers. They're better than the Saints. So they're about the 4th, 5th, or 6th overall pick in 2025. That's an improvement, baby. That's a 200% improvement. 200% improvement, guys. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. Hope you guys had a great time. Thank you for hanging out with me today. We'll be back tomorrow live, raw, uncut for the final week of the show, 9 p.m. East Coast time during the Commanders versus the Packers game. So I understand if you guys want to watch the game, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I will be here live, raw, and uncut. Until then, guys, we out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut.